geeks, keep it real, no doubt. From the couch to your screen with a word of mouth. Anime, movies, TV, we got the scoop. Join the review crew, come and be part of the loop.
Welcome to otakusandgeeks.com. Justin here, back with more Summer Anime 2024 coverage. We're going to kick it off with a big one right here. One has been highly anticipated since its debut trailer. And today we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad Isekai. Episodes 1 through 3 are now on HBO Max and Hulu. And I'm actually going to talk about all 3 episodes in this video right here. So this is episode 1 through 3 review. Let's talk first about episode 1. Let's give you the brief synopsis. And the synopsis for this one is: a new world. After going on a rampage with her partner in crime, the Joker, Harley Quinn is sent to Belle Reve Penitentiary. And that is basically the synopsis of episode 1. Episode 1 is basically Harley takes center stage with this. And of course, we all expect Harley Quinn to be the face. She has been the face of Suicide Squad for a very long time, and she's definitely the face of this show. Episode 1, we get to see, which I was so refreshing to see, because we haven't really seen Harley be a true villain in a while, and you really get to see that in the opening few minutes of this scene of Harley being actually bad. Like, she is on a rampage with the Joker. They're messing things up. They're just having a mighty good villain time. And it's not until she is captured by Argus where the show really picks up. And I like how, when this was announced, I was wondering how this show was going to get them to another world. And I'm not going to spoil how they get. This is completely spoiler free. But the way they did it was so smart. And it was so realistic of how something like this can happen in the real world. And it has to do, obviously, with science, has to deal, of course, with Amanda Waller, her ambitions, has to deal with Argus, it has to deal with things like that. So how they got to the other world, it's actually pretty cool. And I really did like the first episode. First episode is really just kind of setting the tone of what the show is going to be about. And it was a fun time. The Joker was menacing. Harley was great. Just lower people's expectations. If you're expecting a certain DC character cameo, the Bat is not in it. The Supes is not in it. Wonder Woman's not in it. At least in these first 3 episodes. None of the Justice League are in this episode. This is strictly Suicide Squad. And I really did enjoy the first episode. The animation was great as well. This is full-blown Japanese audio with subtitles, so do not expect English dub yet. But I definitely enjoyed episode 1. It was some really good fight scenes between Harley and Katana. They did a really good job of setting Harley up. But episode 2 is where things really kind of take flight here, because episode 2 is where we get to really get more in depth with the squad when they get to go to the other world. And the squad of this particular show is Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Peacemaker, Clayface, and King Shark. That is the Suicide Squad. And the synopsis for episode 2 is: Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Peacemaker, Clayface, and King Shark find themselves in the new world of swords and sorcery known as Isekai. Isekai, as we all know, is the genre in anime where obviously a protagonist goes into another world. But in this particular Isekai, the world is called Isekai. So it's a really nice kind of play on words there. And episode 2 was really, really good because now we're getting introduced to the squad members. And I love how they made Clayface kind of the face of the audience in this, because Clayface is basically, he's a fanboy. We know Clayface loves the art of story. We know Clayface loves movies. We know Clayface is an actor. He's theatrical. And Clayface really shines in this particular episode because he is the audience. He is literally just ecstatic to be in this new world. He's bringing out plot points and things like this. Like, hey, if we save these people, they usually supposed to come and treat us as heroes. And things do not go the way Clayface expects it to go. After this, the squad absolutely helps out the army. And things don't go the way Clayface wants it, so he's kind of wondering, like, what type of isekai are we in? And it's kind of fourth wall breaking, but it's also really true to the Clayface character. Deadshot's also really cool. We also get Amanda Waller's. We get a little bit of what Amanda Waller is trying to do in this particular episode. For episode 2, we get introduced to the world. We get to understand a little bit of the world building, the rules of what is actually happening here, and I thought they did a really good job of that, of establishing who is the Empire, who are the villains, and what is going on in this particular world. And of course, it wouldn't be a Suicide Squad show without a prison break or a prison scene, and they did a really good job of setting up the Isekai prison. And yes, I had to say this, minor spoilers here. They do say the line. Deadshot says the line, folks. And if you know what line I'm talking about, if you watched the original movie with Will Smith, you know what line I'm talking about. Yes, Deadshot says it, and it's so glorious the way he does it too. It's just like he says it just like a normal conversation. We just go, "Oh, I know that reference. I know that line." And there's tons of references and Easter eggs in here. There's references to DC. There's a lot of references. You can see a little bit of the Peacemaker, John Cena show influence in this, especially when it comes to the ending credits when they're dancing. That's not a spoiler. The ending credits is of the characters dancing, similar to the show like you see in Peacemaker. You see influence of like James Gunn's Suicide Squad influence and things like that. So you could tell that the people in Japan really watched the American media, read a lot of the comic books, and tried to interpret it the way they wanted to interpret these characters. And I thought they did a really good job. And the action scenes in this was actually pretty good as well. I would have to say the camaraderie of the team is really some really good chemistry here from Harley, Deadshot. Peacemaker is just, I'm telling you, if there's an English dub coming and John Cena is not Peacemaker, we're doing it's gonna suck. We need John Cena to voice Peacemaker in this because his dialogue, it's I could just only hear Cena doing the voice for this particular character, especially with the dialogue they gave Peacemaker in here. King Shark is exactly how you expect King Shark to be. He's always hungry. He's that brute force. And episode 2 did a really good job of really setting up the squad and kind of what their abilities are going to be in this Ishikai, the camaraderie that they're really building up, the characterization, the relationships between these guys is really building up. And I thought they did a really good job with that. Now, on to episode 3. Episode 3 is the synopsis goes Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad strike a deal with Queen Odora of the kingdom to deactivate the bombs in their necks. Now, episode 3, well, episode 2, we were introduced to. I didn't say this because there's certain things I'm keeping vague because I don't want to spoil anything. So, episode 2, we were introduced to obviously Rick Flag. He's in the trailer, but we were introduced to Rick Flag. So, Rick Flag is now part of the squad. Now, in episode 3, they took over after the squad did something with the prison. They catch the eye of the Royal Knights and they're brought forth towards the Queen. And the Queen has made a deal with the Suicide Squad to help liberate and trying to stop the rise of this empire because you'll find out what happens to how Rick Flag really got there, what's the reason for Rick Flag being there, and there might be other Suicide Squad members that are actually here as well. And I thought they did once again, another really good job of really mixing Suicide Squad members from the past. And they're the ones that the squad has to kind of take out or try to stop to kind of liberate this kingdom. And one thing I thought was really interesting, and I didn't comment on when it comes to episode 2. When it comes to the kingdom, the Ishikai, Queen Adora has a daughter, and the kingdom, the queen, you see glimpses of the actual kingdom, the people in the kingdom, and they're starving while this queen is just living the good life, and the princess refuses to eat because of the way she sees her mom running the kingdom. So I'm wondering how that dynamic is going to play out between mother and daughter. And the princess looks very similar to Harley, and she wants to meet Harley. So, there's a lot of elements in here. Once again, really, for episode 3, I will say Deadshot steals the show, and it's because of his relationship with another DC character that he met in prison, and it is absolutely hilarious how oblivious Deadshot is. I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm laughing. He's so oblivious. It's like I'll give you a hint, folks. You know how you're trying to be friends with somebody and or you feel like, oh, someone's being bullied or something like that, and you're trying your best to help this person being bullied, but that person doesn't want anything to do with you. They just they're introvert. They want to just be left alone. But you thinking like, hey, I'm helping this guy out. Let me take this guy under my wing, and you have no idea that this person totally hates your guts. That's what happens to Deadshot. It's hilarious especially with the DC character. I need another episode with just the backstory of what happened to these two in prison and how oblivious Deadshot was. It was absolutely hilarious. I've enjoyed this so far. I was expecting a good show. I didn't expect it to be this good, this funny. It's a funny show. Doesn't take itself really serious. It's an Isekai with DC characters, and I thought for the concept that they did, how they got these characters to the other world, and how Amanda Waller still is very menacing. I thought they did a wonderful job. So far, I'm gonna say, you know how we do when it comes to the streaming services and summer and our anime reviews. Watch this, put it in your queue for later, or skip it. Definitely watch this episode 1 through 3. It was Chef's Kiss. It was fun, very colorful. There's like, I mean, for those gamers out there, for those anime fans out there, you're gonna see a lot of styles. Like I was watching this and I was getting Persona 5 vibes, especially when it comes to the music. I was getting like Persona 5 vibes, especially with some of the aesthetics, the way the movement was. It felt really good watching this. Definitely check this one out. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com. Summer anime has begun. What did you think of Suicide Squad Isekai episodes 1 through 3? Comment below. Let me know who was your favorite character. What did you think of Deadshot and his relationship with that certain DC character in prison? Let's discuss it and catch you on the next one. Later days.